Welcome back, our dear viewers. You are still watching ITV International. So, as we mentioned before in our episode about the French President Emmanuel Macron, he arrived on Sunday in Cairo for a two-day visit, focusing more on the need to consolidate the ceasefire in Gaza. Also, both President Macron and Abdel Fattah el-Sisi agreed on the rejecting any displacement of Palestinians from their land. This came during the press conference which was held at Al Ittihadiyya Palace on Monday. During the press conference, the leaders reviewed the reconstruction plan for Gaza and agreed to coordinate their efforts together for the upcoming conference. Finally, they discussed ways to enhance the economic cooperation, and a joint business forum is to be held by the leaders to address the health and renewable energy issues. So we have over the phone, we are delighted to have Dr. Nabil Negm, journalist and writer specialized in international relations. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
Yes, thank you.
So please let me ask you, how would you describe the visit, which comes at this critical time, especially with the renewed Israeli genocide attacks on the Gaza Strip? And from your point of view, what's the importance of this timing?
This is a quite historical visit for the French president for so many reasons. Number one is the unstable situation in the Middle East as a result of the Israeli barbaric attacks on the civilians in Gaza. Number two is the tension between Israel from one hand and Iran on the other hand. Number three, the gap which is being created by the U.S. President Donald Trump withdrawal or taking sides in this conflict. Above all, the bilateral relation between France and Egypt. For all those reasons, the visit of Mr. Macron is quite significant. And I would like to shed some light on his distinguished visit today to Al Arish. And he is the first European leader to be at that close to the Palestinian or Gaza border. He's going to visit Arish, and he's going to be close to the humanitarian disaster which has been created by the barbaric attacks of the Israeli army.
So relations between Egypt and France are deeply rooted in history, as we all know. So what are the shared visions that can help diffuse the raging crisis in the Middle East?
Obviously, the visit of the French president to Egypt is a quite significant step toward enhancing the just cause of the Palestinians. Number two, that trilateral summit which has been hosted by President Sisi with the Jordanian king and the French president. That trilateral summit was very significant because it came out with a few or a major points that the escalation has got to stop, the restoration of human aid to the Palestinians has got to be restored, and the ceasefire truce has got to be implemented, and finally the route to stability is going to be only through a two-state solution in the Middle East.
Okay, so how can the trade forum, from your point of view, contribute to enhance the economic exchange between the two countries?
I believe very much that this quite important official visit was a very landmark in the bilateral relation between Egypt and France. President Macron came to Egypt accompanied by 4 ministers, and they have already got involved in talks with their Egyptian counterparts, and I believe very much that almost 12 agreements have been who have been signed between Egyptian and French officials, and it's going to be a new page, a new fruitful page of the relation between France and Egypt.
Okay, so Egypt enjoys distinguished partnerships with France. What are the prospects for strengthening them?
I think that the investment venue is going to be a very fruitful way to enhance and develop the bilateral relations. And number two, that this visit has proved that the Egyptian-French relations have been developed to the extent of signing that strategic partnership relation. And what does that mean? It means that France and Egypt are going to be hand in hand in handling, first, the bilateral issues, second, the regional issues, third, coordinating into between each other over the international arena. I believe very much that it's going to be a very fruitful strategic partnership, and Egyptian economy is going to be very much in the side of getting the French investment growing for the benefits of two parties.
Okay, culture and education are very important two areas of common interests for both countries. So can you, Doctor, give us your insights on that?
You can not ignore the historical visit of the French President, Monsieur Macron, to Cairo University, and that quite warm welcome and the speech which has been delivered by both President Sisi and Macron in Cairo University. The visit is going to be generating a future cultural and educational cooperation between Paris and Cairo. And by the way, President Macron has visited the new location of the French University in Cairo, and they have agreed on a few memorandum of understanding to launch over 100 Francophonie institutes in Egypt. Now it is the turn of the Egyptian educational side to capitalize on the French educational and cultural achievements. I believe very much the deep-rooted relation between Egypt and France is going to be delivering a new and fruitful achievement for the people of the two countries.
Okay, so the two sides will discuss more about the regional issues, such as the situation in Libya, Gaza, or Sudan. So can you please elaborate more on that?
Absolutely. The agenda of the presidential meetings and consultations has touched on those issues because Libya, Sudan, Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon are quite sensitive files on the stability of the Middle East, and France is not going to be away from restoring stability and political reconciliation in these countries. On top of that, Egyptian leadership has touched on the Nile and the issue of the Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia and the right of the Egyptian to make sure they get their fair share of the water of the river. I believe very much that the strategic partnership between Paris and Cairo is going to be a plus added value on those files: Libya, Sudan, Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon.
So, from your point of view, how will this visit affect the political relations between Cairo and Paris?
Definitely, it is, as I said, a plus added value, and I believe very much the next few months and near years are going to witness the fruitful output of such historical visit. If you can notice that the way the French president was, what you call it, accommodating and meeting people, and he was so content, and he was very much content about getting close to the Egyptians, and that's not new because France knows Egypt quite well since over 200 years when the French Napoleon came to Cairo, to Egypt, with those scientists, and they have written La Description d'Egypte, that book which tells the French people everything about this country. Mr. Macron came to Egypt, and he knows exactly the central role of this country, Egypt, and the significant role of the leadership of Egypt, Mr. Sisi, in the stability of the Middle East and in the way to restore peace in this area.
Okay, so what role can France play in the ongoing Gaza conflict, and how could Macron's call for a ceasefire influence other global powers?
It was very clear that the French leadership has declared its opposition to the displacement of the Palestinians, and he made it clear that France is not accepting the annexation of Gaza, and he made it very clear that restoring the humanitarian flow of aid to Gaza is a top priority. Today's visit to Al Arish by the French president is going to be a bridge to the European Union to tell them what he saw personally and what is the urgency of the situation of the restoring the humanitarian aid. I believe very much Monsieur Macron made it clear that he's going to get the output of his visit to the European Union, and I believe very much that the European Union is going to be in a better understanding toward the legitimate right of the Palestinians and to the necessity of restoring peace in this part of the world.
So thanks, Dr. Negm. We were so happy to have you over the phone. And now we will have a break and be back.